Hey there, and welcome to your 2-Minute Money Manager. I'm your host, Stacy Johnson, and this answer is brought to you by MoneyTalksNews.com, serving up the best in personal finance news and advice since 1991. Today's question comes to us from Kim. Kim says, I was wondering, is it a good idea to purchase a home in a 55-plus community? I hear they're difficult to sell and don't retain their value. Well, Kim, in some ways, buying a home in a retirement community is like buying any other home, but in other ways, it is unique. So here are a few tips for Kim. Before you buy, think about selling. In her question, Kim says, I hear they're difficult to sell and don't retain their value. Well, as with any home, that's going to depend on supply and demand, the specific community, and of course, the individual house as well. Fortunately, checking historic prices is relatively easy to do. If you're interested in any house, in a retirement community or otherwise, do a search of the county records online. See what it's sold for in the past. It's usually right in there. And then you can get an idea of whether the trend for both that house and the neighborhood is up or down. Remember, one of the main things that drives real estate prices is in any kind of housing, not just retirement communities, is expanding demand and limited supply. So is the population of the area you're buying into increasing? Do you see a lot of building going on? These are good signs. When it comes to retirement communities or any planned communities, another thing you need to keep in mind, that until all the building is done and the community is completely built out, as a seller, you're going to be competing with the developer, and that could put a lid on appreciation. For example, it's going to be hard to sell your house for $200,000 if a developer is selling identical brand new homes for $180,000. So keep that in mind in any community, whether it's 55 plus or not. If it's still being built out, well, then you may have a ceiling on the price you're going to be able to get for your home. And before you buy, be sure to check any selling restrictions. This is particularly true in 55 plus communities. Now, some of these communities will force you to use their real estate agents. Others may prohibit putting signs in the yard. Many will require your buyer to be screened for age. In fact, almost all of them in a 55-plus community, they're going to have to be screened for age, their finances, and even sometimes, often, their health before you can sell to them. In short, before you buy, make sure to see what the deal is when you should decide to sell. Other tips for retirement communities. Number one, hopefully it goes without saying, but wherever you consider buying a home, unless you're intimately familiar with the area, you always rent first. Nothing beats experience with a community before becoming a member of it. Number two, buy in the off season. If you're moving to Florida or Arizona, you're going to get a better deal in July than you will in January. Number three, check the property taxes. Some states like Florida don't have state income taxes, but they do have high property taxes. Be aware of that before you buy. And here's another tip. Review the financial records of the homeowners association. The last thing you want to do is buy into a community that's bleeding cash or about to approve a giant assessment. Visit their office, ask a few questions. Research the rules. This is another tip. You know your community has age restrictions, these 55 plus ones, but that could be just the tip of the iceberg. Actual restrictions I've seen before. Not allowing pets. Not allowing you to smoke a cigar outdoors. Not having street parking. Not talking on your balcony after 10 p.m. You may be amazed and turned off by the restrictions you encounter in these communities. Bottom line, while buying a home in a 55-plus community can be like buying a home anywhere, there are some differences. As I'm fond of saying, always do checks before writing them. I hope that answers your question, Kim. Got a question you're roaming out there that do what Kim did? Simply hit reply to any of our email newsletters and fire away. I answer as many of them as I can. Don't answer them all, but answer as many as I can. And if you're not getting our newsletter, well, you got to fix that right now. Go to MoneyTalksNews.com and subscribe. Our newsletter is completely free, takes 5 seconds to sign up, and you know what? It's going to make you richer. I'm Stacy Johnson. I'm going to see you right here next time.